Beautiful. Well, welcome from all parts of the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast. I'm delighted that you're taking some time for yourself today. I want to introduce a mentor of mine, a regenerative health specialist, a detox specialist, um, a former Ayurvedic practitioner, knows so much about health and wellness. I just soak up when I'm in her presence. It's really beautiful to be on this journey with her. Rachel also later in life became an award-winning bodybuilder when she started having these superfoods in her system. So amazing. I love that part of your story, Rachel. So I'd like to introduce Rachel Balanset.
Thank you, Nirankar. Appreciate you so much. And I just want to thank everyone for coming to this call. I want to say Nirankar is also a health coach, and she has a plethora of information as well. And it's so interesting when we have so many nutritionists who gather together, and we have so many stories between us around how nutrition has helped change lives. It's absolutely incredible. And I feel so honored constantly to be just part of this amazing team of wellness warriors, health coaches. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for making it a priority to learn and empower lives around you. And some of you are here for the first time. You're just checking out this particular topic on diabetes. And some of you have already been transforming with us, changing your lifestyle around nutrition, and have been on a 90-day protocol. Some of you are in the middle of a 90-day protocol, and some of you might embark on a 90-day protocol just to like see a major change in your life overnight. And it's really incredible how simple nutrition is. I mean, it is absolutely astounding how simple and how capable the body is when it has the building blocks to transform our health. And so I'm going to start off, and just so you know, this is also a support group for people who are transforming their lifestyle and changing their nutrition and wanting inspiration. Some people, we get excited and we get gung ho in our lives and we start these protocols, and then we get, life gets in the way, holidays get in the way, we kind of fall off. And so it's really nice to have something weekly to come back to for motivation and inspiration, isn't it? To just like constantly have a support group where we can continue to be reminded to make healthy decisions. We are all human. We all, have different things that get us, comfort food. We all know what's health. I think we all know what like healthiest decisions are. And it's hard to make those, I'm going to actually go ahead and pin myself for the recording so that for the recording that people can see. So, we all really know what is best for our health. I think we can all agree that like it's great to eat vegetables. It's good to eat fruit. We want to, we don't want to have any toxins in our diet. We don't want to have any toxins in our life. We know that it's better to choose non-toxic options. We know that it's better to choose, plastic-free packaging. We know that, we know that there are certain toxins in our health, just even in our household products, that can burden our liver, that can burden our lives and cause things to be a little bit more challenging. And we're all trying to make better decisions. And sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And so no one's at fault here. If we've been making decisions, that we didn't know, it's okay. Like we always have the chance to get back on. I like to say it's never too late. I like to say, a lot of times as we get older, we start to think, gee, if we're starting to have problems like, oh, I must be aging. I know that at the young age of 42, I was like thinking I was, aging and that I was sick because I was aging. And now that I'm 50, I'm just getting started. Are you kidding me? I'm a spring chicken, It's really amazing because I say that, age, it's not about age that causes illness, it's accumulation over time. It's accumulation of toxins, it's accumulation of fats, it's accumulation of all the things get stuck in our liver that then start to slow down processes. And it is never too late to reverse. It is never too late to reverse the process. And you can always reverse age. Okay. You can always become a spring chicken again, right? It's really all in accumulation. And what we like to say, it's all about detoxing and nourishing the body. So I'm a regenerative health practitioner. And so I studied at the Institute of Regenerative Health. Before that, I studied at the Dhyana Center and became an Ayurvedic practitioner. So I have these 2 certificates that have greatly influenced me. I also became a Purium Health professional with a company that I aligned with, that I became a brand partner with, because I vetted their products and I thought this company is definitely worth knowing about. And I want to promote these particular line of superfoods as nutritional support, because they're truly, truly the healthiest forms of nutrients I've ever encountered. And partly because the company owns their own farms, so they have control over the process of farming. And the soil health is really another kind of pandemic in its own. It's a crisis that the soil is not healthy, that even our organic foods they're not practicing crop rotation to the degree that we're not getting nutrients put back into the soil from new crops. There needs to be constant rotation. There needs to be a diversity of crops. All these things bring nutrition into the soil. So some of us who are using like really mainstream, like big, huge company labels, we may still be eating organic, but not getting the nutrition. Those of us who are not eating organic, we're storing all those toxins in our liver. And a lot of those toxins, one of the main ones is glyphosate that gets stuck in our gut. You can't wash it off food, you can't cook it out, and glyphosate stays in our body. And it is very hard to remove. But Purium has actually has created a product that actually is a probiotic plus biotic and prebiotic. And it actually is the only product proven by the detoxproject.org, the only product proven to remove glyphosate, which is the toxin in Roundup. It is the herbicide. And this has been linked to diabetes, to cancer, and to a host of other inflammatory conditions. And so it is really important to detox glyphosate, as well as many other things. But that will start to actually help the gut to repair. It'll help the gut to start to absorb more nutrients. And it'll really, really help with reducing inflammation. So this is an important place to start, is in the gut for health. But let me educate a little bit on diabetes, because there's actually 3 kinds of diabetes. We now have started talking about a 3rd diabetes. So most people are familiar with type 2 diabetes. And then some people, a smaller group of people, have type 1, which started when they were young. And then there's a type 3 diabetes, which is called neurological diabetes, which is very related to adrenals. That's when people get diagnosed with diabetes way late in their life. And this is, again, accumulation. And it's a neurological issue. So the medical diagnosis for diabetes, grab my notes here. The medical diagnosis for diabetes is blood sugar above 200 milligrams. Okay. Under 140 or under is normal. So between 140 and 199 is pre-diabetes. Once you're over 200, they start giving you, if you go to the emergency room and you are over 200, they will give you insulin. Insulin is what helps the sugar go into the cells, because all that sugar is hanging out in the blood and it's not able to go into the cells. So insulin helps it get into the cells, and that sugar is food, it's fuel. So why is that sugar not able to get into our blood, into our cells? This is the question, and this is the topic, and this is the topic that is not getting into mainstream information. Why is insulin not making its way into, sorry, why is sugar not able to get into the cells where it belongs? And when I'm talking about sugar, I'm talking about healthy sugar, okay? Nobody should be eating refined sugar. That's just toxic. It's acidic. It's really not good for the body in general. But a lot of people are afraid of fruit these days. People are afraid of potatoes these days. These are healthy, wonderful foods. We should be able to eat all produce, root vegetables, sweet potatoes. And in fact, it is great for diabetics to eat these foods. We need that type of sugar in our blood. That is going to break down into glycogen. That is going to break down into the basic building blocks that's going to feed our cells. But it can't get in without the help of insulin, except for fructose. Fructose is not insulin dependent. That is a surprise. Fructose comes from fruit, okay? But these other sugars from complex carbs, they cannot get into the cells without insulin. So why is this insulin? Why are we not able to get the insulin to let this sugar into the cells? I want you to think of the cells. I'm actually going to do a visual for you guys in a moment here. But when we eat high fats, when we eat fats of any kind, I don't care if you're vegan or if you're a meat eater, fat in general starts to basically kind of like, I like to say it's like a condom. It's like a sleeve over the cell. And so it becomes insulin resistant. Then that insulin can't bring the sugar into the cell. And we are in a period of time, a very interesting period in our history, where we're told to eat lots of fats. We're told we need fats for the brain. But guess what? The brain actually lives, that computer up here, all those neural pathways actually need sugar. Okay. It needs, letting someone in, it needs sugar. Okay. Now I'm not talking about refined sugar, but healthy, all food is broken down into the basic building, the basic store of energy, which is ATP. Okay. And that is glycogen is ATP, fuel for the body. This is what feeds everything. So thanks to my handy dandy little worksheet, I'm going to show you. And the difference between type 2 diabetes and type 1. So type 2 diabetics are producing insulin. Their pancreas is working. They're able to produce insulin. It's not getting to the body. We start shoving more insulin in there. We start really pushing it in there, so it just like breaks through the barrier and brings the sugar into the cells. Type 1 diabetes, there's a problem with the pancreas. Okay, so the pancreas might be damaged from viral activity that could have happened even in the womb. It could have happened when the child was little, but some kind of viral activity has possibly damaged the pancreas, and it is not producing the beta cells, which make insulin. So type 1 people aren't producing insulin. So they have these pouches with insulin and a little hookup that's monitoring their blood all day long that says, oh, do we have enough sugar? Do we have enough insulin? Do we have enough sugar? Do we have enough insulin? And so it's balancing all day long, and that thing is just squirting out insulin when needed to get the sugar into the blood. But why do type 1 diabetics actually begin to feel better and to need less insulin once they change their diet and start adopting a more plant-based lifestyle? Because fructose is not insulin dependent. So the number one way to actually begin to help people recover from diabetes is adopting a plant-based lifestyle as much as possible. Now, vegans still get into trouble. Why? Because they'll still tend to eat lots of nuts. They'll still tend to eat lots of nuts. And they may be putting oil all over their salads. They may be cooking with oils. And so the best thing you can do is to literally cook using a steaming, right? Steaming and cooking without oil, doing a water saute. So these are just basic lifestyle tips. All right, you want to water saute, you want to steam your vegetables, you want to, instead of using oil, you want to use lemon juice. Don't use vinegar. Vinegar is acidic. It's better to use like lemon, and you can put avocado on there. Avocado is not a high fat. It's not as high fat as people think it is. Okay. 1 tablespoon of avocado is 1.4 grams of fat. That's not much. 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 14 grams of fat. Okay. So which is going to be less likely to encase all your cells and cause insulin resistance? The avocado. Okay. So if you want healthy fats, don't add avocado oil. Don't add olive oil. Add avocado. Hopefully you like avocado. One thing that you can have is guacamole. I like to take the avocado and I'll like mush it into my kale salads. I'll chop up kale and then I'll take the avocado and I'll just mush it into salad. I also like to make avocado dressings. So because you know, we all like that unctuous, we want that rich feeling in our mouths, right? If you're gonna have nuts, have like a little tablespoon of nuts. Okay. If you choose to eat meat, the safest meat to eat is wild salmon because it's the only meat that doesn't have metals anymore. Animal meat, all other fish, they all have metals. Metals also feed viruses. Okay. And people who are struggling with diabetes have a viral load and need to reduce that viral load. So you don't want to be feeding it metals. And you don't want to be cooking that fish in oils. And you don't want to be eating the skin of the fish. You want to have small pieces. Okay. So this is like and then eat tons of vegetables and fruit. I have been surprised at how many people's blood sugar has normalized very quickly just with even these few tips. So these are dietary tips, and these are just some of the ways that you can start. Let me show you my screen. And we're going to share some stories too. I jumped right in. I didn't even like share any stories, but I want to give you guys some stories as well. Let's have a couple stories. Are there anybody in here who has, let me see who's here. Is Coco here? Coco and Shri? I had a couple of people who have recovered from blood sugar issues very quickly on our 90-day protocol, using our superfoods protocol to alkalize the body. You know what? In Hawaii, I had the wrong Hawaii time on the flyer. And I have a feeling because the two women from Hawaii who were going to speak, they probably are still on the old time zone. Oh my goodness. It's like 6:30 their time. Okay. Gleneth, your blood sugar transformed. You had hypoglycemia. No, that wasn't you. You had hypothyroidism. Do you want to share a little bit about do you want to share your story, please?
Oh, sure. I'd be honored.
Thank you.
For a lot of years, I really struggled with my energy and weight. And I didn't even know that I had hypothyroid. And I also had sleep apnea. So that combination really wiped me out. I was always looking for some sort of supplement, some sort of way to, get my weight more under control. So I started this protocol anyhow. And the first month, my sleep apnea, I couldn't believe it. I didn't need the treatment for the sleep apnea. I had dropped 25 pounds and 7.5 inches off my gut. So I said, "Ooh, this is worth keeping going on," right?
Mhm.
And anyhow, so I did continue that. Slowly, I was finding, because I did a couple of thyroid tests along the way. I was finding I was able to cut back the amount of the dosage I was using Armored Thyroid. So anyhow, first it was, I think I started with 90 milligrams, then it went to 60 and then 30. And I hadn't even got the last results. The last results I had was one point from normal. So on my 5th month using our protocol, I was able to stop using that. And now both sleep apnea is perfect. I don't stop breathing at all. And also the hypothyroid is well within normal range.
Wow, that's really fantastic. Thank you so much. I also can share a little bit of my story because I had Hashimoto's, which is there's a link between Hashimoto's and diabetes because there's a blood sugar issue. A lot of people who struggle with diabetes with Hashimoto's also struggle with blood sugar issues. And since the actual medical diagnosis for diabetes is blood sugar over 200, this is very relevant because some people with Hashimoto's might actually also be considered, either pre-diabetic or diabetic. So let me go back to gallery view here so I can see well. I too was struggling with blood sugar issues and was basically pre-diabetic. And I had was getting vertigo, I was getting dizzy, I was having brain fog. I was couldn't figure out how to lose the weight that I wasn't used to having. I was just very uncomfortable in my body. I was struggling with digestive issues. I have brain fog. And so I'm curious how many people here have actually who either have now or have had blood sugar issues where they feel like they've been on like a roller coaster with their blood sugar. You can go ahead and put into the chat or raise your hand. But yeah, so blood sugar issues is very common. And so again, there are so type 3 diabetics are struggling with it's called a neurological diabetes, and this comes from adrenal issues. And so there's always this adrenal component with diabetes because when you have low cortisol, your body isn't producing beta cells, so it's harder to produce insulin. So there's this whole kind of connection between everything. And then adrenal health, interestingly, is affected by stress, traumas can influence it, and also exhaustion, overworking ourselves, just being a parent can be very exhausting and stressful. So there's all different kinds of ways that like the stress in the body will cause a huge production of steroidal hormones and start depleting the adrenals. And then also fat stresses out the adrenals. Fat also will fat will also cause the body to produce adrenaline in order to break up the complex fat bonds. Okay. My computer's doing all kinds of weird things. I'm trying to see my screen here. Sorry about that. So adrenaline will be squirted out of our adrenals that sit on top of our kidneys. This is our fight or flight. These are our fight or flight. And so when we're in flight mode, it starts squirting out adrenaline to help us run, to help us move faster, to help us oh my gosh, I got to handle the task at hand, whatever it is, whether it's a trauma, so we have to like rescue somebody, we have some kind, or rescue ourselves, or, we're in a dangerous situation. Those adrenals are going to start pumping. Well, they also pump when we introduce fats because they start to try to break down those very complex fat molecules. Okay. Now I'm all for things like, omegas, like we definitely need omega fats, right? Those are fine. You can get those from chia seeds. You can get those from flax seeds. They're in our Super Meal Love Shake in the Purium protocol, the 90-day protocol. It's in the Super Meal Love Shake. It's got natural omegas. It's also there's like these perfect formulas that really help with. There's also all these different adaptogenic herbs that actually help with. And when I say adaptogenic is when the hormones, these are herbs that help the hormones come into balance. Okay, so it helps balance the stress hormones. So if the hormones are too high, it'll help reduce them. If the hormones are too low, it'll help raise them. Okay, so adaptogens are all these different herbs, like different mushrooms, different ginseng, luthra root, rhodiola. These are all in the Super Meal Love Shake, and so they all help with balancing and regulating our hormones. And prior to my 90-day experience, I was also struggling with. I had lost my period, and that came back. So really, like, I just found that this really helped regulate my own hormones following this protocol. What else? So I'm going to go ahead and show my screen just to kind of like help you guys get a visual. So let me come back here. I have my little handy phone here so I can show. Oh, I have to make myself a co-host. Give me 1 second. I'll give my phone permission to share. Okay, so share screen. Bear with me while I do this. There we go. Okay, whew, it worked. Thank goodness. Okay, so here we go. So this is from my school, the Institute of Regenerative Health. So let's just look at where the pancreas is. So there's the pancreas under the liver. The pancreas produces insulin, which goes through to the liver, and the liver performs all these functions. So the food converts into glucose, which is basically a form of sugar. All of our food converts into some form of sugar, right? Glucose. And then it feeds our muscles, right? So we eat food, it goes down through the stomach, and then eventually it makes its way to the pancreas, where it converts into sugar, where insulin is produced. And then let's look down here. Here's a healthy person, right? So the healthy person here, that's the pancreas. It produces insulin. The insulin receptor site allows the insulin in, which unlocks and allows the glucose in. Okay. And then that liver and the muscle absorbs the glucose. So that's a healthy situation here. Let's look at what happens with type 1. The pancreas is not producing insulin. And so that insulin receptor site doesn't have any insulin to allow this glucose into the cell. So they can't absorb glucose. Your liver and muscle can't absorb glucose. Now you're feeling weak, you're feeling lightheaded, you're not getting the nutrients you need. Type 2, so remember, type 1 has a damaged pancreas. It's not producing insulin. Type 2, the insulin is produced, but it can't get into the cell. Why? Because fats are in the way. So that insulin receptor site is blocked. Remember, I called it a condom. It's like there's like a sleeve over the cell that's just basically saying, sorry, no insulin. Which then we don't have enough fuel. We don't have that sugar, that fuel to go in. And then we have the type 3, which is not on this chart. It's relatively new. Not that we didn't know about it when she made this chart, but it's just not that common and not something, we don't talk about it as much. But then, you know, the type 3 is the adrenal health. Our adrenals are taxed. Maybe we're feeling exhausted and fatigued, but those adrenals are basically not signaling the pancreas to produce the insulin. So maybe the pancreas can produce insulin, but it's not receiving the signal to produce the insulin. Okay. So when there's no insulin, the muscle is unable to use the glucose. All right. So I'm not going to spend too much time with this because I don't want to confuse you. I think it can be confusing if I go too deep into that. So let me unshare my screen here. Hopefully that was helpful.
Rachel, I just wanted to
Yes.
mention that Kim is on her way and she has a beautiful low blood sugar story. So if you want Kim to share her story, she's on her way here.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it.
Yeah, she's not here yet, but she's coming.
Yeah, my blood sugar totally regulated. So that was what I was going to say. I actually didn't share the rest of my story, right? I talked about the problem, but I didn't talk about how well I got. So I did this 90-day. Here comes Kim. Yay, thank you. So I had this 90-day protocol, and I did the Purium 90-day protocol, which is basically flooding the body with all these different nutrients, and alkalizes the body, because the basis of illness really is an alkaline acidic issue. Okay, so fats can be kind of grouped into the acidic, right? Causing acidity as a very kind of simple way of putting this. And hi, Kim, good to see you, honey. Yay, thanks for joining us. So I'll just finish sharing my story and then we'll hear from Kim. And as soon as I started this, I stopped being lightheaded. I stopped being dizzy. My blood sugar regulated. And now I've been on this protocol for 9 years. I've been almost 9 years. So I was sick for 9 years and now I've been well for 9 years. In those first 10 days, my blood sugar regulated. And not only that, all the symptoms of my Hashimotos disappeared, all the brain fog, all the adrenal fatigue, the constipation, the exhaustion, everything transformed, and even my brain became clear. And so I've been just doing the core maintenance for the last 9 years, and none of my symptoms have ever returned. And as Nirankar's said, I went on to become a bodybuilder. I had so much energy. I stopped sleeping all the time through the day. And all of a sudden I was on my way to just it's just been nothing but complete health since then. And so I was 42 when I started, or 41, I guess, when I started. Now I'm 90. I mean, I'm 50. Just kidding. All right. So Kim, you're up. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, thanks for coming. We'd love to hear your story about what it was like. Oops.
Sorry. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I'd love to hear your story about what it was like before you started your 90-day protocol and like what you've experienced since.
Cool, absolutely. I'd love to share. So I was introduced to Purium about 5 years ago by a good friend of mine who was also experiencing blood sugar issues. I'd been diagnosed with hyperglycemia when I was in my 20s, so long time ago, and had a very long, frustrating road of trying all sorts of different things. I'd seen naturopaths and doctors and tried all sorts of different diets and this and that and the other, and nothing had ever really worked. I'd had sort of gradual improvement, but I'd still always was having issues. And some days I was having like 3 or 4 blood sugar fluctuations, and I didn't really suffer particularly from the high blood sugar levels, thank goodness, even though I knew that was what was really damaging my body. But it was the lows that would really get me. I'd get very, very faint and get shakes and get all clammy and horrible brain fog, so you just can't think straight at all. and get very agitated, and it was just really quite debilitating. And even though with all of that, I was eating really healthily, exercising regularly, you know, all the things that you're supposed to do to regulate your blood sugar, but I was still really not being able to get on top of it at all. And then I had cut out coffee, I'd cut out pretty much all sugar and white carbs, I'd cut out alcohol, and I was still hitting my head up against the brick wall. Anyway, so fast forward to about 5 years ago, and my dear friend Tal Kapoor introduced me to PREM, and I was incredibly skeptical. I'd tried all sorts of different things before, and I had never, ever been able to do any sort of cleanse. Because as soon as I mucked around with my food intake, I would be a mess. And what sort of even keel I'd managed to keep would go completely out the window, and I'd be for the next few days. So I was very skeptical about trying anything new. And but I did. Having watched Tal go through her transformation, I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. So I actually started off saying, okay, I'm just going to do the core 4. I'm not doing any sort of radical cleanses or detoxes or anything. And within 3 days of starting those products, my blood sugar stabilized. And wow. It's just incredible. I still get the goosey bumps when I think about it, because it's just been so life-changing for me. So the brain fog started lifting, my energy levels just stayed where I wanted them throughout the day. So I didn't get that horrible slump in the afternoons. And so I got back in contact with Tal and Erin and said, okay, let's do this. And I did the 10-day, and I was so ecstatic that I was actually able to do a cleanse. I didn't have any issues with my blood sugar. And ever since then, I do a cleanse every 3 months. I feel like my health improves as I go on from year to year. And each time I do a cleanse, I feel just a little bit better. And I take the products every day. I don't think I've missed a day in 5 years.
That's amazing. So you have reverse aged.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I'd gone from being told, first of all, that I had hypoglycemia, and then eventually the doctor said to me, okay, you have diabetes, and eventually you will end up on insulin. And now
they just tell you this is what's going to happen. You're going to, this is what, you know, like, yeah. You're like, not on my watch.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Thank goodness. And yeah, I mean, all of my, I was getting a lot of joint pain. I was having vision issues. Like you say, lots of digestive issues. Because it really stuffs around with your constipation and yeah, and my mood now, I mean, I was like this, whereas now I'm like most of the time. No more joint pain, and huge reduction in inflammation. Like I look back at photographs of myself now and I'm like, whoa, was that me? And being able to, yeah, I'm just seeing a little bit of weight going, talking about that.
So I lost 65 pounds in 18 months.
Congratulations. Yeah, just being able to lose that, you know, I didn't want to lose a lot, but I had never been able to really diet, because as soon as I reduced my food intake, then it would all go haywire. So just being able to lose that 10, 15 pounds that I wanted to let go of. I didn't get bodybuilding, but I did get asked last year to be a spin instructor for our local spin studio. So at 57, woo! I have now.
Amazing.
Spin nearly every day, and have lots of energy, and very rarely get any blood sugar issues. And if I do, it's because I've been stupid.
Every time I see you, you look younger and younger to me.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Like I've literally watched you youthen. I mean, it's amazing. Like you just have this incredible glow and vibrance, and just like, it's just really been fun to watch your life totally transform too, as everything else has evolved with you. Like when we start to feel really good, it's amazing what we start to create in our lives. There's just like whole new life that just kind of unfolds. So I like to, some of the three things that usually stop a person from even trying to start on this protocol is cravings and habits, right? And finances. Like, I can't afford organic, or I can't afford to eat, like a vegetarian or healthy life. And I'm not saying that people have to become vegetarian. Again, I told you what meats were available and which ones to choose and why it's important. But I'm just saying, like, people are like, I can't do it. My cravings, my I love comfort food, or and then I have these habits, like I always have to have dessert after dinner at night, or things, whatever that is, or I have a habit of coffee, or whatever the thing is. So what would you say to people who worry about cravings?
I know what I would say.
Oh, sorry, I have Kim pinned to my screen. Go ahead. I was talking to Kim specifically.
Okay, sorry. Yes, and I was really worried about that too. They just kind of go away. I think isn't that
amazing?
The healthier you get, the less you crave stuff. And I've also found that you don't have to be holier than thou and 100% good all the time. I still, I have a sweet tooth, and so I still let myself have treats, which as a going from having to be so careful with anything with any form of sugar in it, whether it was honey or agave or whatever, now I can do that, but it's my choice rather than it controlling me.
There's nothing wrong with honey or agave. That's the thing, is that actually honey and maple syrup are incredibly good for the liver and amazing for diabetics. People would not believe that, because again, it's the fat that's the issue. The fat is what causes insulin resistance. It's what prevents the sugar from going into the blood, right? Mm-hmm. Now, there's a thing that people need to know about adopting a lifestyle like this. When you change your lifestyle, if you are on insulin, you need to work with your doctor, because if you have too much insulin, you're basically over medicated. You can go into an insulin coma. If your body is now starting to regulate and you actually have a normal blood sugar, your body's like, okay, I'm normal now. I've got normal blood sugar. Now, if you put insulin on, if we gave insulin to a normal person, it's going to drop their blood sugar so low they can go into an insulin coma. Okay. So that is why it's very important to work with your practitioner if you're going to adopt this lifestyle. If you are diabetic, you definitely want them to know. If you're a type 1, in a way, you're lucky because you're on a pump, right? And so the pump just reads your blood and it's like, you don't need any insulin. I've actually had people who are like, my insulin was, I was like, if I had one guy, his pump went down to half in the first day. Okay. Niranka, I want to bring you on to join the conversation. What were you going to share about cravings?
I was just going to say that cravings are a part of our relationship with food. And so I found that with this protocol, it helped me slow down a bit. Like, wow, okay, my cravings are either gone, or when they are there, then I have so much more space and consciousness around, is this really what I'm choosing? Or is this part of my journey, part of releasing something else that's craving it inside my body? And so it creates an opportunity to have a deeper relationship with your mind, with your choices. That was my experience.
Beautiful. So do you know why people stop craving sweets and other things while they're on this protocol? Do you know the reason?
Well, I have maybe a couple of theories, but I'm not sure if I remember from the alchemy health and business school. They begin to be the balance in the gut begins to be such that the toxins or the bacteria that are proliferating that we don't need start to die off, and the cells are actually receiving so many more nutrients. They're able to receive nutrients that they're beginning to slough off what is actually doing the craving.
That is right. So what's really interesting is there's our bodies crave nutrients, right? So literally our hunger exists for one reason alone. Our hunger is only here because it wants us to have more nutrients, right? And so it's true, when your gut starts to repair and you start to be able to absorb more nutrients, you become less hungry. And then also you start to crave, as you become more alkaline, you begin to crave more alkaline foods. Coffee is not alkaline. I've had so many people say, like, my coffee tastes like battery acid. I can't drink it anymore. Not to scare anyone who loves and is attached to their coffee, but I've heard that several times, that it starts to taste like battery acid. It's too acidic. I've heard, and I've not only heard this, but this is true for me, is that sugar started tasting too sweet. My boyfriend will get an ice cream. He'll always want me to have a bite because, people like to share. He'll just like, have a bite of my ice cream. And I was like, I don't want any. And he's like, come on, just take a bite. So I'll like have a bite. And I'm like, oh, it's like so sweet. It's disgusting. Like, oh, like that is just like ridiculously sweet. Like I can't even handle that sweet, which is funny because before I started this protocol, all I loved was sweets. I mean, I loved my organic cookies. I loved my organic Bliss ice cream. I loved sweet. And now, like, it's amazing that now sweets are just too strong for me. And I have naturally, so I always say it's more important to add this in than to try to take stuff out. Right? So add it in, don't take it out. Thank you, Nirankar. And then what about habits? How long does it take to make or break a habit?
Were you asking me?
I'm asking whoever now.
Okay.
You can answer.
Well, I'll just jump in anyway. I think for to include the nutrients in my daily life took 3 days. Because once I'd started, I didn't want to stop.
Once you feel good, like you just don't want to stop, right?
Yeah. Actually, this morning we've just inherited a dog, and I took the dog out for a walk, and I hadn't finished my shake. I'd left it at home, so I'd only had half of it, and I could feel my whole body was craving, kept wanting me to pick it up and finish it. It was kind of weird. And then awesome. I think as far as releasing things from my diet, that has been a gradual process. So and it's felt very natural, and it hasn't been hard to do because it's kind of happened gradually. So releasing dairy and red meat and sugar, and it doesn't happen all of a sudden, but it's been just a gradual process that's happened over the last 5 years, I guess. But a lot of it happened in the first couple of years.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah. They typically say it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. But what I have found is that when people just, do 21 days, that if they don't have like the support of the mindset of like, I'm doing something for, I'm like committed for 90 days, that they can like kind of start to let old habits creep back in. And it really does take 90 days for the adiponectin hormone to actually kick in, which is the skinny hormone, right? That hormone kicks in. It takes like 90 days for it to be trained to turn on and to stay on. And so 90 days actually helps us create that habit because also we are also practicing something for so long that we don't even remember the old routine. That we don't even, for me, a habit, for instance, sorry, I'm just trying to there we go, back to the gallery view. For me, I was very used to just walking down the aisle, down the potato chip and cookie aisle. That was a habit. And I also used to love to go to my favorite cookie store, which was on Main Street in Sebastopol, the cookie company or whatever. And that was like a habit, right? And so after 90 days, I stopped walking down in those areas, and I stopped thinking about even doing it. At first, it was a habit. And even though I didn't crave it, I would still go and do it. I would still go and buy the cookies because I was like, well, it was just part of my routine. It just felt so good and comforting to do it. So it took a while, right? So doing something for 90 days is a really great way to gradually move yourself out of traditional things that you might have been doing, including things like dessert after dinner, right? You eat your dessert before dinner, have a piece of fruit. David Sandoval always says dessert before dinner because it's actually healthier for you to have the fruit first. Otherwise, if you have the fruit after dinner, then it ferments and your food's sitting on top of it, and then it's harder to digest, and you can have, people who struggle with digestive issues. You don't want to have your fruit before dinner. Have it have it after. You want to have it before dinner, for example, or anything sweet. Okay. Have your dessert before dinner. All right. So would anyone else like to share their experience just like on the 90-day protocol, or have any thoughts or questions about it? This is a support group after all. So anything, Kristen, go ahead.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to jump on and say a couple things. I used to have a lot of problems with my blood sugar, and because I wasn't eating great, and I could definitely tell, one time I had to leave work actually because I had a really sugary breakfast and I thought I was going to pass out. I started sweating. It was kind of scary. So that was a long, long time ago in my 20s. I wouldn't eat very healthy. On the topic of diabetes, this is something very dear to my heart because my aunt passed away about a year and a half ago, and she was struggling with diabetes and she was always wanting to be healthier. And I really wish that I knew about Purium back then, because this could have saved her. And diabetes has been in my family just rampant. Both sets of grandparents, great aunts, uncles, everybody, my uncle, current people that are alive, are still struggling with diabetes. And so I'm trying to get to them and just help them heal and eat better and cleaner. So yeah, and as far as cravings, my goodness, I've been doing the Purium products for over a year now, and I can't believe the stuff that I never thought I'd be able to give up, like chips and crackers and carbs. I loved snacking on carbs, and I just don't have those cravings anymore at all. Eating pieces of fruit fill me up, which they never did before. In fact, fruit used to make me feel more hungry because of the sugar, I think. And I wasn't eating healthy, so it would just make me feel more hungry. And now I can eat an apple and I'm completely satisfied. So yeah, I gave up dairy, which again, I never thought I'd be able to go without dairy. I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to give up cheese and even eggs and stuff? But just knowing now what it does to the body, and with these protocols, it's just made it so easy to nourish and then detox from all of that. So it's been incredible.
Beautiful.
I wish my aunt was here. I could share all of this with her.
I so relate to you. My father died of diabetes, and so I completely relate to you. And I wish that I had known this beforehand. Yeah. And my whole family, all of his brothers and sisters, except for one who's still alive, but the rest of them died of diabetes as well. And so it's definitely an issue in my family. And so this is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about sharing this with other people. Thanks, Joe. So I wanted to also talk about a little bit about kidney disease, because this is also related to diabetes. And my father actually had 4-stage kidney disease. And one of the things that I learned from Dave Sandoval is that the best products for kidney issues is the super aminos and the Revividol. Revividol has alpha lipoic acid in it, and alpha lipoic acid really attacks free radicals. It's an incredible antioxidant, and it has been used and banned as a medical practice to actually, and I say that because it's so effective in helping reduce kidney disease, because it just repairs the kidneys. And so it's a very important thing to bring in if you have kidney disease. It's a great nutritional support. Alpha lipoic acid, you get it, it's called Revividol, and that's one of the main ingredients. And then the super aminos, which gives you the building blocks, the protein, without giving you all the fats and the toxins. So this is a way to get your protein without all the added toxins. People who end up on dialysis, the dialysis machine is basically cleaning your blood, and taking, taking proteins out of your blood. You don't want to have protein in your blood. It's not a good thing. And so anyway, long story short is the dialysis machine is constantly detoxing your blood. And so you can actually prevent yourself I've actually seen people who were on, like one of my friends, he was on dialysis. And you have to know that people who are on dialysis are restricted from drinking like the power shake or the cherry juice. They have to reduce potassium. That's dangerous to have high levels of potassium. However, as he was taking the Revivadol and the Superminos, his kidneys were actually improving, and because he was in line for waiting for a kidney transplant. And he was actually able, then his doctor said, well, now you can start drinking those other things. Now you can start taking the cherry juice because your numbers are improving. So you can start to do this. So he was seeing his own kidneys improve as he was increasing these other nutrients. And so that was a real win and something that was very exciting for me as I watched him begin to heal. Glenna, if you have your hand up.
Oh, yes. I wanted to take this opportunity to invite my new friend. She's here. We met each other because of a neighbor of mine passed like a year ago, and he was known for walking around in our neighborhood with his mandolin and playing at different events, just showing up. He was quite an amazing guy. And she called me because she had just learned about it and saw something I had said about him, and that happened, like how I had known him. So anyhow, she reached out and we chatted for quite some time, and she started sharing some of her health concerns. I told her what I was doing, and anyhow, I wanted to invite her to maybe ask a question or so about some of her health concerns.
Hi, Melissa. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Thank you.
Sure.
There's all of this has been really interesting to me. But a few of my things, Hashimoto, Lyme disease, and a flare-up. I was okay for many years, but had a couple flare-ups. What else? Mold, high testing for those, a lot of them. But hearing Kim seemed really interesting to me. The changes that her body made. I don't have any blood sugar problems that I know of, but the things that you're saying, the fat in the body, I didn't know that. So I'm learning some things here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm so excited. I definitely want to get started on it. And I am working. I just talked to my doctor on a Zoom the day that I was talking with Glenn. So my issue will be kind of separate for us to sort out, I think. But I'm so excited to hear these changes happening so quickly. It's amazing.
Beautiful. I have to tell you that I have there was a Lyme doctor that kind of gave a protocol to this company, and so we have a Lyme protocol which includes the ULT, and then you add on some other things. So for Lyme, the additional add-ons are the nutritional support for Lyme would be adding on the Virusure, adding on you could add on the Can't Beat This.
Say that again.
Can't Beat This, which is a beet drink. What was the first one I said? The Virusure is actually an antiviral, which is herbal. It's got maybe it has oregano oil. I forget what's in that particular nutrient, but that would be something to add. I would do the ULT Plus Immune pack. Okay, Plus Immune has the zinc aid, and then you would want to add in the my brain's not working today. But yeah, the Virusure and the Can't Beat This. I would add in the white American ginseng to support your adrenal health, because you've had a lot of hits. You've had the mold, you've had you have Lyme. And so basically the barley green juice is also what I would add in. There's already barley green juice in the Power Shake and the Super Meal Love Shake, which is part of the kit. But I would add in additional barley green juice because that kills viruses.
Oh, good.
Okay, so that kills off the viral load. What else would I add in there? The ionic elements because that really helps with the nervous system, because that's your trace minerals.
My nervous system is fried. And that was the other thing that I was interested in hearing everybody talk about, was the adrenals. And yeah, because all of those molds and things that I have, every one of them, any one of them affects the nervous system. So when I try to pull some adrenal now, it's like, oh no. So
I would definitely get at least 2 of the super meal love shakes then. It's very, very helpful. It has lots of adaptogens. Like I said, it's got the mushrooms, it's got the herbs, the eleuthero root and the rhodiola, which are very helpful for restoring the adrenal health. So all those adaptogens will be very helpful for you.
yeah, my doctor had recommended ashwagandha and the rhodiola, and I did, in talking with him, I asked him about, how about me getting some of these superfoods in and the mushrooms and everything, and he said, yeah, sounds like a good idea. So
good, perfect. I have a couple of friends who had Lyme disease and were really struggling with pain. That was like their main issue was pain. And I saw them get out of pain in 30 days.
Really?
Completely. And like one of them was struggling. She had the Bartonella and all the different viral loads. And she said that when she was a dog groomer, and even like lifting up the whatever the thing was so painful. She said it was like lifting up a 20-pound brick. And she said she had such a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. She used to her boyfriend would have to push her out of bed so she could get up. She was in so much pain. And in the first 30 days, she was out of pain.
Oh my goodness.
So sometimes you have to know that sometimes there could be a detox flare-up. So sometimes conditions can get worse for a little bit in the first week and then they'll get better. But you kind of just want to make sure that you feel safe going through that. Here comes Coco with her blood sugar story. She's now jumping on the call.
Yeah, one last thing, easing into it, we're all careful, we have been, about minimizing the die-off. So
Yes.
Possibly easing in so you're not just full blown.
I would do it once a day for the first 10 days and just eat, and then do it twice a day for the next 10 days, and then move up to 3 times a day the third 10 days. And just back off if you feel like you're flooding, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the very last thing, if I don't get a chance to talk to you privately soon, I am interested in starting this right away, but there was some concern about, my doctor actually did want me to do a very quick few days IV antibiotics to kick it. And that's why I said in my to mop up, any of that. And that, I know that part is controversial to anybody, and we don't have to necessarily talk about that.
No, we can talk about all of that here. This is exactly what we talk about.
Okay.
Let's talk about it all. Let's get it all out. So go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I had, he's all into the natural too, but he felt that the thing that we had done before was a few days of an IV antibiotic, and did that a little bit, and it kicked my last flare up down, and I didn't have any real problems with it. He said it's not like super duper thing. So he says we can clean up and use this product as a support during that time, because I think I'll probably start pretty quickly if I do. So you could be a support.
You could do that. I totally support whatever feels right to you. And would you be willing to try this first for 30 days before you do the antibiotic?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. As I thought about this, I don't know whether I can put that off for 30 days, but I know that I can put it off a little while, and I want to try it and see how quickly I can feel better. I've got a bunch of tests, different kinds of tests, like what is it? Not the glycogen. I keep wanting to say the glycogen. Glyphosate. He even included a test of that to see how high that is in my body. So I haven't gotten.
How high was it?
I haven't gotten those tests yet. They were going to be mailed to me, some of them, and some I'll do over in his office. But that's a thing. I'd love to just like be the test here and check one base level and another. But I'm so anxious to get started on this that but I can try it for a period before I do those tests.
Yeah. I would want you to try it long enough to get. I would want you to try it long enough to get through the detox period, so you can actually see the effect.
And how long do you think that might be for the detox?
It could be a week or two.
Yeah, sure. I can try for that long before doing anything. Yeah.
So but we're graduating you. You remember we're gradually building up. So you might
Oh,
have
right. So
along
not,
the way.
oh, that's true.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would also take the fulvic zeolite. The fulvic zeolite helps reduce metals. It's like metal chelator, and that feeds all these viral loads.
Yeah. I didn't quite understand that word you're saying.
Fulvic zeolite, and Glenneth knows what that is. He's writing it
Oh,
all
okay.
down. I can see him writing it all
Good.
down.
Yeah, you're catching this, Glenn. Okay.
These are all part of the protocol. These
Uh-huh.
are all in our product database.
Yeah, this was both
Yeah.
for Glenneth and I. So thank you for, I don't want to take away from everybody else's time with this.
No,
But
you're worth it. You deserve it.
thank you. Well,
That's what this call is for. This is a support call. It's
it'll
not,
be-
even though there's a topic, it's not meant to be just all presentation. It's to help everybody who's actually getting started and on the protocol. So it's a support group in addition.
Right.
We just have a theme each week. So there's a little presentation each week.
Great. Well, this is exciting. And yes, I will probably put in a message to him, say, we'll put this off for just a little while so I can get going on this. And thanks for the agreeing with the idea about easing into it, because I can't deal with the full-blown Hexheimer.
Yeah, you might even want to start with just the biomedic on the first few days and just see, because you could have some detox just from that.
Yeah,
So
I
just,
still
just
have
see
to,
how you feel the first few days, and then let it regulate, and then get to the next level. Just add in things.
Should we
okay.
the loading dose of 2 twice a day, or
She can start with 1 and then 2. Yeah.
With the Vitamedic, is that what you're asking?
Biomedic, yeah.
A biomedic.
Do 1 the first day, then do 2 the second day, and then you could do 3 the third day, and then 4 the fourth day, and then I would do 2 twice a day for the first month, and then eventually you're going to go back down to 1 a day. Eventually you'll go back down to 1 a day. We're just going to try to detox you a little stronger
Easily, hopefully.
Yeah, you don't want to be taking 4 biomedic forever. You want to just for a little while. And that can really help reduce the CRP. That can really help reduce the bioinflammatory marker if you're being tested for that.
I'm been so achy, and that's what really brought all of this to the present. And it's just interesting that it's all happening within the past week. That I had to talk to my doctor, and here's Glenneth, and it's like, oh, here's you, and we're doing this.
Well, thank you, Glenneth. Oh my God, I'm so glad that he brought you here. That's wonderful.
Well, yeah, interesting.
The number one most important thing not to be eating, I think you said you stopped eating. Was that you? But the number one most important food to stop eating is eggs. I don't know if you eat eggs.
Hardly ever.
Okay, good. Eggs and fats, reduce those and you're good.
The fats I get.
And obviously gluten. And most people already know gluten. I didn't say it. But
not too much gluten, and nuts. I eat a lot of nuts. So I realized when you said that, well, that's a lot of fats. And I use, instead of olive oil, I use the avocado oil on my
So if you're going to use any oil, I would use the tropic oil, Purium's tropic oil, which is the best coconut oil you can find. I would use only that, but I would even keep that minimized.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize the oil was so important. So that's
super important. Super important.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we said it all. You're good.
Glenneth,
I'm excited for you.
Were you good at taking notes? Because I try, but I'm not real great. So between us, you got that information.
He also knows all this stuff. He already knows all this stuff. He's just writing it down for you. But
and we can contact you to confirm some stuff then.
He's been sitting on calls with me for 8 years, so he's good.
So okay,
he knows all this stuff.
I'm so excited for you, Mel. I just want to say I'm so excited for you. I'm so glad you got your blood test and you're going to see the difference after. I'm just thrilled for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yay, congrats.
I was considering doing all these tests first to see, what is my baseline, and then to be able to document it, but they're kind of expensive tests, so I don't know whether I want to do before and after. I'd love to, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway,
beautiful. Thanks, Melissa. So great to talk to you.
Thanks for inviting me in.
Sure. I'm going to go ahead and drop in. I'm going to have Coco join in. Coco, do you want to come off mute?
Good morning.
Where are you? There you are. Let me pin you. Good morning, Coco.
Good morning.
Aloha. You made it.
Aloha.
The time change, we've had a time change. So actually this call started an hour ago.
Okay.
Because now Hawaii's 3 hours apart. It used to be 2 hours, but
Yes.
now we're 3 hours apart.
Okay. It's still 7:46.
Yes. So we started at 6:30 your time.
Okay.
Very early. So we are at the end of the call, but I would love to have your story because it's such a beautiful story. Would you share your experience and like, were you diabetic or did you have high blood sugar or were you pre-diabetic? What was your diagnosis?
I had everything and I feel like
Everything.
dying before I start this detox.
You were dying.
Yeah, I have been fainted couple of times. My heart was sore sometime, and I feel like it's so dangerous because my sugar level past like 3 months suddenly rise up to 300, and my blood pressure sometimes go like 170. Regularly 140, but when I get stressed, it's jump up to 170 or so. And also having a swelling knee, I couldn't walk without cane, January. And I had abdomen pain. And I almost forgot what was happened before now, because after 2 days, my knee pain, sharp pain's gone. I have a very hard time sleeping at night because of the pain, but I start to sleep through. I noticed no more pain.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. That is so exciting.
It was just 2 days. Then my weight also went down 6 pounds in first few days. And within 10 days, my blood sugar level went down to 130, 140.
Yeah.
And now, to this morning, 100, today was 120. But sometimes it's going down to 100. So it's a range of 100 to 120, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, very good, safe.
Incredible. That's
And
incredible. That's because under 140 to 199 is pre-diabetic, 200 and over is diabetic.
Yes. So
were you on insulin or metformin? What did they give you?
I was doctor just double metformin, double dose.
And so metformin is also known to also be linked to Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
So it's a good thing that you got off of that, yeah?
Yes. I just stopped taking it after 10 days because I see my blood sugar level very stable below 120.
Good.
Beautiful. Yes, it's amazing.
So yeah, I usually tell people, work with your doctor to come off your medications, let them know that if you're going to start this protocol, you want to let them know. So that way they can be supporting you and like, you can tell them, oh, my blood sugar is dropping. Like, can I get off my medication? Right. So, because that's what happens is if you're over medicated, if your blood sugar is normal and you take insulin or metformin, then your blood sugar will drop and then you can go into a blood sugar coma. Right? You can go through an insulin coma, which is when your blood sugar drops too low. So you took it upon yourself to go ahead and get off the medications. You're like, my blood sugar is already low. I'm going to just stop my medication. You posted this video on Facebook where you had this bag full of medications you were throwing in the garbage.
Yes.
What was that? I was like, holy cow.
I was so happy.
What was in there? What was in that bag?
Wow, there is many things like a vitamin, all the vitamin. I have been taking like a CoQ10, the fish oil, and all those things to supporting me to going. Probably I had like a 15 different, more than 15 different supplement, and metformin, my blood pressure medication, 2 blood pressure medication, a cholesterol medication. Maybe I'm taking like a 6 different medication to support my health. And I don't think I need those anymore.
That is so amazing. Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, thank you so much, Coco. It's really great to have you on. And I am going to just let everybody know here that if you're, if you've never done the protocol and you're interested in learning more, or you want to order it, it's so affordable. It's only $12 a day, and that includes 2 meals a day for 90 days. And your meals are these delicious, amazing green drinks that have just the best nutrients in them. Plus you get these super aminos, which give you like plant-based protein. So you feel energy, gives you like amazing energy. You've got the cherry juice. Now, here's something interesting that people don't also know is that the cherry juice helps with diabetes. The apothecary juice, it actually helps with diabetes. Remember, we talked about neurological diabetes being type 3. So the type 3 neurological diabetes is an adrenal health issue. Well, the apothecary juice actually helps with balancing cortisol levels. And so that it's really helps with your adrenal health, which thus helps with diabetes. So a lot of people don't understand, like, how is it helping with diabetes? Like, so that now okay, it's helping balance your hormonal level, which helps your beta cells produce insulin, which help you not have, too low of cortisol, not have too high of cortisol. And so like that. So I hope that is helpful for you. So thank you for staying on. I know we've been on for a long time. We're at the end. I'm going to go ahead and let everybody go. I'll stay on for, another question or two if somebody has like a burning question. But hopefully you all had your questions answered. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to hop off mute if you want to have like a burning question. Oh, you guys are good. All right, Teresa.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. Feel free to hop off if you're done. If you feel complete, that's fine. Did Teresa have a question? I saw your hand raised. No, it's gone. Oh yeah, it's still there.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
It was just more of being able to have this presentation. This is kind of, I guess I would say, more dear to my heart because of, again, in the family. And you can really become emotional because it's like what I've been on for a while now, that it's a lifestyle, that diabetes is a lifestyle and how we're conditioned in society. And my Nana passed away at 74, which has been almost 9 years, and I've been helping my granddad. And being able to live by example and share with him, and now that he's getting to overhear some of this stuff.
Is he listening? Is he on the call right now?
He was, and I was, sharing about the whole, with when Coco was sharing her story, which is so amazing. It's just, as I'm holding back tears, with like that they have to want it. My mother's been on dialysis. My aunt finally got the ULT because she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, Tara. Your Nana hasn't been here, and I'm gonna die if I don't do something. And so I was able to encourage her, or just be that, like share this is amazing transformation of being able to really put nutrients into our bodies and herbs and things that are super, super supportive to reset and alkaline the system. And that, trust and pray that when they're, there, that they'll jump on board too, and so thank you for having this available to people.
My pleasure. The recording will be available too, so you can, listen to it again with your grandfather if that feels useful.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to be properly educated or informed and inspired or empowered, because nutrition isn't pressed in the mainstream yet as much as it can be, to know some of the details that you got into. And I'm big too on the spiritual, emotional, and energetic route, but just looking at how important it is, the synergetic value of nutrition and supporting our matter, our flesh, our anatomy, and that material part of our body as well, with the complementary things that we, choose habit wise daily.
Thank you.
With our mindset. So thanks, and
Appreciate
blessings to all that
Blessings.
have this opportunity to. So I salute to you, and I'm celebrating those who are taking back control of their lives.
Thank you. Midge.
I just have a just quickly. I was very interested when you talked about the kidney, because on my blood tests, that has always come up, and there's been my grandmother died from kidney disease, and anyway, so that was really interesting, and that I have really moved toward the Revive It All, but that's not my question. So I was excited about that information, and I'm grateful. If you have someone in your life, in your family, that is on dialysis, how, maybe this isn't a short question, and that's okay, you can say that to me, that it's over time. How can you begin to present that there are other ways than just accepting the dialysis, but that you can begin to make some changes in your life? Because dialysis.
Share stories of success.
Okay.
The story of my friend, he's in the Core 4 Nutrition group, Darius. You can look up that story in the Core 4 Nutrition group. You can share that with them. And then just ask them if they want some Revive It All. Just bring it in. You know, it's only 2 products, so it's a lot easier than trying to introduce the whole ultimate lifestyle transformation. And they're not ready for that anyway. They couldn't do it anyway. On dialysis, there's no way they're going to power shake or cherry juice. Can't have all that potassium. So yeah, just like share a story.
And I will let you know in the future, because
you can share this video. You can share this replay with them if they're open to it.
I'm going to have extensive blood tests done, and so that will hopefully be a change on my blood test. That will be interesting. Because
I can't wait. Can't wait to see. Definitely let us know.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
You're welcome, Mitch. Much love. Kristen.
Hey. So I have a couple of questions, if it's okay to ask them here.
Absolutely.
It's not
That's what this is for.
Cool. So my dad actually and my uncle are on Super Meal and the Super Xanthan. And
I love how you say they're on Super Meal. That's so cool. I'm glad they're on it.
They're on it. It's their food. It's my dad's food. He's replaced his juicing with the Super Meal, basically.
It's so much easier and it's so much cheaper than juicing.
Yeah, exactly. He's so tired of the chopping and all that. He's like, I'm so tired of juicing and chopping all the time. I'm like, here you go.
It's good to still do some of that. You don't have to totally replace it, but it's so much easier to get so much nutrients from this. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Now he just does it if he just feels like it, you know. So, but my question about it is, can you have more than one super meal a day?
Absolutely. Oh my God.
You can, right? I know. I thought that
I
was
take it twice a day. That's how I healed my Hashimotos. I was like on the super meal twice a day.
Yeah, I know that sounds
for a
silly.
year. I did it for a year before so all my symptoms went away in the first 10 days. Okay. During the 10-day cleanse, all my symptoms went away. But after a year of being on the products, then I was able to get off all of my other supplements, off of all of my, whatever natural thyroid medications.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's just on the packaging, on the bag, it says enjoy once a day. So they were asking about that. Like, it just says enjoy once a day. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that you can definitely have it more than that.
That's okay. Wait, let me talk to Dave Sandoval about that in the packaging.
Okay. And then I have a similar question about Super Xanthan. That is 2 capsules a day. And my dad was looking up, I guess people take it more. I think if they're working out, they take it more. But if
Super Xanthan is a red algae. It's like taking spirulina. You're not going to hurt yourself by taking it more.
Perfect.
It'll improve your eyesight quicker.
Yeah, perfect.
That's the amazing thing. Like, Chanel was taking the Super Xanthan. Was it Chanel? Was it Chanel, Anne? Is she still in the call? It was her. She was the one who had the poor eyes, right? Her eyes were like, she had like thick coat.
Yeah, it totally was Chanel. Yeah, for sure.
She was like practically blind, and she started taking the Super Xanthan, and now she sees fine.
Wow, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's super good. It's the highest antioxidant. I mean, that is like a potent antioxidant. It's great for people. You don't get sore if you're working out because it just this shot of antioxidants straight to your muscles. Super cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
Kristen.
it's just incredible. It's such a great food.
Totally. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Anything else? Do you have anything else to say? Okay, good. Well, it's a wrap, y'all. Thank you for coming. I'll make this available immediately today. I'm getting a lot quicker at uploading these. So
Thanks, Rachel.
if you're like curious where it is, just bug me. It's all, I'm always inviting people to like remind me. Okay. Love you
Rachel, it looks like
guys.
Melissa have one more question.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. The eyesight. I do have some deteriorating. I had my eyes checked recently, and you're saying the superxanthin is a quick way to repair eyes, because he was going, oh, time for the surgery. And it's like,
Remember what I said earlier? Like aging is not aging, it's accumulation.
Yeah.
We accumulate. We get to detox. We can regenerate all the tissues. In 7 years, all of our tissues are brand new cells, right? So
the superxanthin we can take plenty of without any harm. Great. Yeah, good. And your Hashimoto that you just did mention that you changed things quickly.
In 10 days, my symptoms were gone. In 10 days.
Wow.
During the cleanse, because you're not doing the cleanse till the third week. That's when you're going to see the change.
Okay, third week. Yeah, because my doctor, I'm on a little experiment test right now. After talking with him on whatever it was, Wednesday or Thursday, he said to try not taking the thyroid medicine, period, for a week, and go in and get a test, and let's see what it's doing without everything going on.
My test is now, my blood work is normal. I'm not even anemic, and I'm completely plant-based now. Like I was eating paleo before I started. Okay. I was vegan, and then they were like, you need more protein. So I listened to the doctors and I started eating meat, which was really weird for me, but I did. I was like, whatever's going to make me well. I started feeling a little bit better, but what it was making me feel better was all that fat was causing an adrenal surge. It was causing adrenaline output. So I was like feeling high off of the adrenaline, but then after a while, that even depletes. And then you're like, now I don't even have adrenaline. Now I'm like really sick, And so then I did Purium, and like during the first, during the first 10 days, you're just like prepping, right? But when I did that cleanse in those 10 days, by the end of those 10 days, I had no more symptoms. And I was completely vegan that entire 10 days because that's what they told me to do. So I did it. I was scared as hell. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to let go of meat. Like, I think I'm going to die, I was like, I hope I don't die. Like during this first day, I really felt like I would die if I didn't have it. And my friend just said, look, just try it for one day. And if you have to eat meat that night, go ahead. And I was like, I got through the first day and I said, wow, I feel pretty good. Got through the second day. I was like, wow, I'm feeling pretty good. I was like, I guess I'll do a third day. I was like, damn, how did I get a third day without meat? Like, how is that possible? That's like amazing, And then now I've been plant-based for 9 years. I haven't eaten meat, and now I'm no longer anemic. Cherry juice and spirulina help you with iron and building blood. And I am now, my numbers are pretty much normal. Like I don't have Hashimotos anymore.
And so that third week of your cleanse, during the cleanse, had your body already been prepped enough that the 10
I started with the cleanse. I actually didn't. I was just like, I'm starting this stuff. Like I'm gonna go right into the cleanse. I went right into the cleanse, and in 10 days I was healed.
Oh,
I'm not supposed to say healed because the FDA could sue me.
Yeah. But the 10 days, even though you dove into it like that, was the die off?
I had none. I had zero die off. I had zero toxic reaction. I just was like amazing.
Wow. Okay.
I have seen people. Here's the extreme. So I'm one extreme. Like I had zero die off. I had zero reaction. Just felt instantly well. And then there's the other extreme, whereas I had this one woman, my friend's team, my friend who supported her, and she was vomiting and had diarrhea the entire 10 days. And we were like, back off, like slow down, like don't do it. And she was like, no, I'm going for it. And after 10 days, she was like better. She vomited and had diarrhea for 10 days. And I was like, oh my God, this poor woman, like, oh my God, like we're killing her. She needs to stop. She needs to slow down. And we were scared. We were like telling her to stop. And she was like, no, I know I'm detoxing. And then after 10 days, she was like better, completely well. We were like, oh my God, that was like a risk that she took, but okay. We were just like, geez, Louise, like that is like intense. Who's going to go through that, So just listen to your body, do what you feel comfortable doing. And like, I really, really would love to see you like get through the whole protocol before you even try the antibiotics, me personally.
So 30 days is what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
and just see if you start to feel better. If you start to feel better, give it another 30 days.
Yeah.
If you feel even better, give it another 30 days. And then, commit to 90, do it whether you're going to do the antibiotics or not. Okay. But because it'll at least it's even in conjunction with it, it's going to be better than not doing it.
Right. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what my doctor said too. Yeah.
But antibiotics are heavy.
They are.
They don't
Yeah.
treat the root cause, but I too will take antibiotics if I'm desperate enough. Like who's ever had a urinary tract infection, right? Like a bladder infection. Like there's no way I'm not taking antibiotics when I have a bladder
Right.
infection. I am like, oh, okay, like I'm
Yeah.
like.
Well,
But I've learned since then, celery juice. If you have a bladder infection, just go right into celery juice and just juice all day long. Like you can actually nail it without antibiotics.
And garlic. I had garlic and oregano
Yes.
oil, but it's been
Yes.
years, like 8 years ago or something. And
Definitely.
apple cider vinegar, but yeah, I haven't had it since.
I would not suggest apple cider vinegar. That's actually acidic. It's kind of gotten into the mainstream as a remedy, but it actually suppresses your HCl. It's like not a really good thing. So I would not ever recommend apple cider vinegar. I think
garlic.
I think people usually like it because all the other stuff in it is good. Like all the other stuff in there makes you feel good. So then you're like, it must be the apple cider vinegar, but it just slows things down. Yay, Geneva. Did you learn something? You said good to know.
So, Rachel, just for clarity, does the new ULT site, does it have the 90-day immune customizable? Do you know that? I think they were putting that on there.
The new ULT site is the 90-day only. The new ULT site is Alt Lifestyle. Here, let me just show you my screen really quick. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and let's look at this and let's go to, I love Elijah Ray, but no time for him right now. Here we go. So here's the ULT website. You get to choose your path. Now, everyone on this call, I would recommend the ULT Immune because we all have autoimmune disorders. If you have any of the things that we just mentioned on this call, this has the zinc aid in particular. So I would get the ULT Immune because it has the zinc aid in it. It's that one additional product for $35 more. You're going to get 25% off. So instead of $530, use Glennet's gift code if you're Melissa, and then you'll get $130 off right there. And you're going to customize your pack. Okay. So you click the would you like to customize button right here. Would you like to customize? Yes. Click that. And now you can customize all 3 months, all 4 months, because the 4th month is your maintenance pack. And you can actually, I personally just stayed on this the entire year. I stayed on the ULT for a straight year, y'all. Okay. I did this for a year. I didn't do it with the Cleanse Our Herbs for a year. I did this one for a straight year. So month 2 and 3, you don't have the Cleanse Our Herbs. It's a little bit less expensive. It's $378. You're going to change out on each one of these. You're going to change this out. Okay, Melissa, you're going to go Super Meal Love Vanilla Chai or original. You can choose, or maybe one of each.
The chai would have the cinnamon in it, and I'm trying to stay away from cinnamon because I became sensitive to it.
Okay, so then do the original. So you're going to do original, but everybody else, I would say, like, do the at least 2 super meal. For you, I would actually do 3 super meal, to be honest. I would do 3 of those because I would actually like you to do all super meal, but I want you to have at least 1 power shake to try it, and you can mix and match. But there's Power Shake Appleberry, and then there's Power Shake Original. Sorry, if unflavored. And
why would I not take more Power Shake?
Well, because I want you to have the adaptogens that are in the super meal to support your adrenals with that Lyme situation, like the autoimmune disorder, and also it helps repair the gut. It's got the broccoli sprouts in it. So the super meal love is like my favorite for anyone with autoimmune disorders. People who are diabetic, they can do more Power Shake. They're really, because it's really like a blood sugar thing, and like the greens will be great for them. And the super meal also has all the omega fats in it. It's got like the chia seeds, and it's got flaxseed, and it's got actually, I don't know if it has flaxseed. It has chia seeds for sure, because they just changed the pack. They just changed it. And then it's also got yeah, it's just healthy overall. It's got adaptogenic herbs, it's got mushrooms, and it's got maca. So this is like really great for your adrenal health. So, and then you can and then you want to customize the third month. You can go in and change this at any time. So you're not glued to this. You just, but you can go in and change it at any time.
Glenneth, I will depend on your foreknowledge to
And
this, because it's overwhelming for me right now to see all this.
Yeah. Glenneth will walk you through it very slowly, and you guys can do it together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And as far as supplements, that's what I wondered, any vitamins and all that on the side, are they really all that necessary? Or are we getting much of what we need in the?
You're getting mostly in this. You're just adding on the 2 or 3 things that I mentioned, the ionic elements, minerals.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be
the minerals
for your nervous system. And then the white American ginseng is going to help also calm your nervous system, and it's going to help with regulating your adrenal health. It's going to help support your adrenals. It's like an amazing adaptogen.
So the calcium, magnesium that I just bought yesterday, I don't necessarily need to be taking alongside it, or
you can take that. That's fine. The body produces calcium, makes calcium from all the other minerals. So you don't really need calcium.
Okay.
Your body doesn't, but the magnesium is good. I'm always a big fan of magnesium.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have your body makes magnesium or calcium, I think from, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's from silica, magnesium, and I was going to say selenium, but no, it's silica, magnesium, and either potassium or selenium. I don't remember, but there's 3 different things that it does that for. So.
Well, I'm excited about losing some of the achiness. I'm a musician, and like my shoulders, I have a frozen shoulder for over a year. I still have.
I had it for 18 months. I feel like it's the worst.
Horrible. Yeah.
But you need to have a physical personal trainer, and you need to be actually doing exercises. That's actually what helps it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? I can't lift a thing. But
right. How do I get my arm up? Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm better. But a lot of achiness, and that I'm excited about seeing a difference in and hearing the stories that other people have.
Good.
So
do me a favor and stay in touch with us in our group thread with you, me and Glenneth. Just let us know how you're doing every day or 2. Okay. You could be every day or whenever you notice a change, but just definitely
thank you for taking
good or bad change. Let us know. Okay.
Thank you for taking the time with me, both of you.
My pleasure. My
absolute pleasure. Your interest.
Yay. All right. Woo, we covered a lot of territory today. How fun was that? Oh my goodness. Woohoo. Good job, you guys. Thank you for being troopers, and love you all. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Woo, woo, woo.
Thanks, Annie. Love you.
Bye.
Nice to see everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Geneva.
See you later.
Is that your wig? That is so cute. Is that Felicia's? Felicia, oh my God, you guys look gorgeous.
I styled her.
What's up, babes?
Amazing.
We're going to do our booth today for Purium. So we're going to be goddesses.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
Do you have your sign-up sheets and your picture
Helping me get it?
Cool. The sign-up sheet and a picture of that, the poster of that, like an 8x10 poster of the green flyer that we all worked on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll print it out. We're going to go to FedEx right now.
Okay, good.
Thank you. That's a good idea.